Hello again. Hey, Fire Agate Mark here. Yeah, I'm carving some more fire agate. If you can't tell, this is Slaughter Mountain. There's a couple dead giveaways if you're looking at these things. This cloudy, billowy top on of the chalcedony. This is kind of a earmark, a trademark of Slaughter Mountain, telltale sign, if you will. Um, and on the bottom, well, this one doesn't really have the same formation. Sometimes you'll see little dendrites in the host rock. Um, anyway, I'll show you an example of that later. But I was asked, why don't I carve another stone from beginning to end? I was thinking, I should, but it takes so long. So I was trying to think, should I do it in series? Should I do it all in the same video and edit it so it's shorter? But I thought, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to one stone and I'm just going to try to do it from beginning to end. Um, Sometimes it turns out great, sometimes it doesn't. I This looks to me, there we go. All right, so this is all the trademarks of being a very high grade piece of Slaughter Mountain. You can see the colors under there, the way the colors are stacked. This white is a common opal layer that divides it, so it's had plenty of time to stack up. There's many, many different layers. Every time you see a break, let's every time you see this change in line, uh, like water lines in a sink that hasn't been scrubbed, you'll start to see these like calcium buildup, but that's layer after layer of agate as it's been deposited. So each of those layers creates another opportunity for the color to deposit. What you want is you want to see this banding in the dark brown agate. But it looks like we've got some color up top, so why don't we just go for it? What we could do, what I would normally do, is you find a small inconspicuous corner and you dig all the way through down to the bottom till you find the color you want. Because this particular pocket has produced some amazing purples, blues, just ridiculous colors. Looks like there might even be a little bit of pink or some of those rare colors in there. If so, then I know who this one's for. My sweetie pie Amberjay, because she wants a pink stone, so that's what I'm going for. Anyway, uh, I'm really happy to be partnering with the folks over at Diashine. Roland, thank you so much. They put together a polishing kit for me that's going to be available to everybody. I'll put a link up here in the video, and I'm excited to be getting some more polish and some more tools from them this month. I have to re-up. I'm almost out of Diathin and Diaflex wheels, but this month here in April, 25% off. 25% off. That's awesome. So just make sure you use the code 25wheels when you're checking out to get your discount. And if you're looking for a really good polish kit that's got a couple different polishes and a nice set of brushes that have a couple different shapes to get into different areas, then check out Fire Agate Mark's polishing kit through Diashine. This one may pose a problem. So here's an example. I usually do the top first and then worry about the sides and bottom last. This is going to come out, but we'll come to that we'll get to that when we come to it. Because some of these outside layers that are going to get cut off anyway, that sometimes is a good one to grind down into. Looking for color, it's not high enough though. We want something that extends up. We'll figure it out as we go. Anyway, thank you so much. I want to say a special thank you to everybody who's taken the time to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Nick, over at Cutting Edge Supply, for providing such wonderful tools. Again, when you're checking out of there, make sure you use promo code MARK and get a little discount when you're checking out. I guess without further ado, why don't we get to carving some fire agate? When you do, please be safe. If you notice me doing something that's unsafe, don't repeat it. If you see something that I am doing that's safe, maybe incorporate it into your carving style. I I like to wear a mask, a respirator. I'd suggest at least an N95 or better while you're carving, just so you're not breathing the silica dust. Eye protection. I'm always wearing magnifiers and eye protection because I don't want rock chips in my eyes. I've had them before. I don't want it again. Usually I'm operating with just about a ½ ounce of pressure, so I'm not really worried about carving through my fingers. And I like having enough dexterity to manipulate the stone wherever I want it as I'm going. Gosh, I am so grateful to have everybody here with all of your support. So without any more being said, let's get back to carving some fire agate. All right, luckily we have some really nice weather out here in the shop today. So all the windows are open. That's why. So if you hear the rooster coming around or the horses whinnying or fire agate lily coming around, don't worry too much. Everything's good. I do have lots of ventilation, got the windows and the doors and everything popped open, just so that we can get a little break. It's finally a really nice day. I think it's about 64 or 65 today. Just perfect. So, this chalcedony on top, what am I going to use? I'm going to use one of these diamond discs. I try to use simple light pressure, never really more than an ounce of pressure. I want to make these cross hatches, so I'm going to come in, carve this way, turn it, carve down this way. I'm going to carve down about 2 to 3 millimeters. Then I'm going to flake everything off, and it'll be easier to get toward the top. So this is just a preliminary step I do. Make sure you keep the stone moist. Right now I'm using a dousing technique, just because that's what I see most people have when they get started. And I want to show you that it can be done. Ideally, I'll pull out my drip system. I've got a bag that I've jerry-rigged so that I can have water continuously dripping. And especially when you're doing something like this, it does kick up a lot of dust, so it's good to have that continuous water. I just want to show you that it can be done. So, let's douse frequently. Let's get to carving. Sorry in advance about the noise. Alright. Get magnification on. Alright, so you can start to see what's happening here. See, I'm making those initial cuts, and I want to stop short of that bottom layer here. I've got a little bit of experience carving, so sometimes I dip in, but for the most part I'm going to stay above those. Just take it nice and slow and steady, and watch your fingers. No, I need to zoom out a little bit because I don't think you're getting this. There we go. There we go. Alright, I will stop frequently, take lots of breaks. Just gotta wipe off the camera. Let's see. Still got good grit on the saw. These blades are only about 25 or 30 cents a piece. Usually $2.50 or $3 for a 10-pack, so if I get I'm pretty happy with getting that many cuts out of them. Sometimes they're poorly built, sometimes they're built better. It's kind of a hit and miss deal. There we go. Alright. I'm going to take a pause. All right, hopefully this is a better angle. This, one thing you one thing you should do while you're carving is be very sensitive. Be aware of not only stopping frequently to check and assess the stone, making sure that I'm not coming in too deep, carving into the agate, exposing any color, watch what you're doing, but also listen to what you're doing. I can hear that this is starting to bear down, and when I look, I can see that most of the grit, the diamond, is worn off. So I'm going to go ahead, pause for a second. I'm going to swap out this blade. Then I'm going to come back. I'm going to make a few more cuts up this way. And this looks like it might flake off. I mean, this is kind of fun. I've seen people where they'll do something similar, carve another into it, and then polish that. And there's this like a fire wrap carving, these styles. I've seen some really, really good examples. It sounds like fun, but I'm after that fire. All right, let me swap out the wheels and we'll be back. All right. So someone asked me how I can carve through this too. It's difficult when it's so beautiful. It's got these different shapes. I mean, it could be carved into a number of different things at this point, but I really am after this fire. This wheel made all these cuts successfully for a quarter and saved me maybe an hour of grinding and wear and tear on my hands. So that was an absolutely fair trade-off for me in my book. You can get fully sintered diamond bits that are thinner, that'll keep carving carve after carve or cut after cut. But the only problems with that is, like with this, it's a little bit forgiving. If I am off a tiny bit, it's usually a lot more forgiving. That's what wears it out. If for a nice straight true cut, wet through and through, make sure that the rock dust didn't build up, I can make a bunch of cuts, but I'm not being as precise as I feel. It's not that crucial at this stage. Later on, I'll be a lot more careful. But this wheel isn't done either. What I'll do is I'll mount it to something and use it like a little flat lap. So when I'm, say if I'm beveling my stones like this one, what I can do is by the way, who likes purple? Yeah. Anyway, what I can do is, as I'm carving, I'll mount this, and then I can come in to do the bottoms, and I could also mount it and then do the sides, and then just spin and rotate the stone, or have it on a dop stick, so I could do that after the fact. All right. Let's see. So, save these. Don't toss them. They've got a lot of life left. This is my kit of the diamond cutoff wheels. I still have a number of them left. And then I save them here to be repurposed, just so they get used to the end. They usually come with two different mandrels, and then 10 different discs, which is pretty good. They take a while to get here since they're coming from China usually, but it's good to buy a number of them. I don't like to wait too long. Anyway, let's put this back on. All right. put this back on. All right. Okay, let's see. Well, I'm glad I took a little break before I started. Here's a really good example. I've noticed a change in the lay of the stone. So it's ripple, ripple, and then there's another secondary larger bump, ripple, and then ripple. So it's higher here, or it appears to be higher here than it is there. And even the way the chalcedony came in and laid down, it behaved that way. So I'm not going to go as deep. I'm going to go more shallow and try to stop short of that common opal layer that's maybe a little bit deeper at the back. I want to steer clear of that. Okay. One sec. All right.
Okay, I need to.
All right.
I couldn't find any.
All right. Who else has little tools and toys in your workshop that are actually really useful and everyone can use? And you can't say no when it's your sweetie. Oh, Lily. We will later. Hold on. Love you, Amber J. Okay. Yeah, she said that this looks like something from the Avengers. Anyway, it made me think about it and reassess. Let's kind of zoom in again. I don't want to bang up this bubble because it looks like that color is going to be right underneath the initial layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my angle a little bit, and I'm going to start to come in from here, which gives me my cross hatches to break all this off. But also I'm salvaging this bubble. I can go deeper in these valleys where it joins up, and then I have to be more shallow across the top. Looks like it goes kind of dead there. If you're ever not sure, you can kind of candle the stone, put a bright light behind it, and you can see, well, most of that can be salvaged, can be cut off. Not always. There could be a ghost fire in there that is really brilliant and I'm missing out on, but if you keep candling it from different angles, it'll give you a better idea of what you can get rid of. And that will save you time in the long run. So in this instance, I'm going to go ahead and go in this direction. All right. All right. Like I also say, you want to stop, pause, take frequent breaks, and it's a good time to assess the stone. Not only that, stretch your hands, let your eyes stretch a little bit. Don't have to be focusing on one thing for too long. Walk around, stretch your back. And then I have this screwdriver dedicated for rocks. I've been using it for a while. You can see it's really nice. I get to flake out the chalcedony as I go. And then I can come in here, pop it out. Some of them I'll have to go back, but for the most part they pop out really quickly. This one's being stubborn. Let's see. There we go. Sometimes put my thumb over it just to keep the rock from popping too far. And then I don't want it to go into my thumb, so be careful with what you're doing. So this is how I get through a ton of chalcedony pretty quickly. And it cost me about $1. And a little time and effort. Let's see. So this gets me way closer to where I need to be. And then I can come in. I still have a blade on here. I can always go a little bit deeper. It's the whole candling the stone. You can see how much area I have around it. And that's really about where I want to start grinding. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause really quick, and then we're going to switch to a coarse bit, and we'll start grinding with that. Alright, I picked this up from Nick over at Cutting Edge Supply. I think they're made by Diamond Pacific. Little hollow bit. This dome shape is really nice. And this is super coarse. This is like 60 or 80 grit. Pretty coarse. Alright. Just mask up. Come on. One sec. There we go. Probably 6,000 or 8,000 RPM. Again, ½ ounce to 1 ounce of pressure. always a good time to reassess the stone after you've removed a lot of material, just to make sure you're not making a mistake that you're going to make throughout the stone. So let it soak for a couple of seconds. All right, zoom in. Okie doke. Yeah, it's still kind of milky and bubbly. You still have a little ways to go. I will stop short of the color with the super coarse. I want to hover about, maybe 2 millimeters above it. So I'm gonna make another little swipe. And I will check from the tip, and that way if the tip isn't going to produce any color at all, then I can grind all the way through, check it, and if the stone's not going to produce good color, well, I'll just carve another one. All right. Let's see. Safety first. Let me zoom out a bit. All right. Let me soak it for a second. In the meantime, I'm going to switch to something that's a little less coarse. All right, I'm going with a coarse sintered bit. so stop, soak the stone. And let's zoom in a little. See what we see. There's that initial color change, which is as deep as I would go. Well, that's going to be ghosty. This last bubble is going to be ghosty. Then sometimes you don't salvage the whole stone. I mean, it could be a stone that's going to be much smaller. So we'll see. But this is a good opportunity for me to kind of get in there and check and see what we've got. So let me switch out again real quick. All right, a medium inverted cone. You can kind of see some dull red appearing there. Alright, let's keep going. Pause for a sec. Boy, those are aggressive bits. I sure like them. Anyway, I kind of nicked the side a little bit, which is okay. It's a little exposure, a little window into what I'm doing. And so I can see, let's see, let me soak this for another second. I recommend you get a little bit of jet dry. Add 1 or 2 drops of jet dry to the water when you put it in, and you'll be able to see into the stone a little bit easier. A drop of Dawn will do the same thing. You can see the layers, and then there's a little green. There might be something else behind it. So what I'm getting is there's a green layer, and then it's still kind of ghosty. Looks like there might be some more solid toward the middle, but this edge was showing me some really pretty green. So I think I might have a sheet of thin but vibrant green. We'll see. I'm going to peel into it with the medium grit bit like this, just till I expose a little bit more, and then I might switch to a fine. We'll see. All right. Mask up. Oh, sorry, magnifying visor. There we go. All right. Well, that's nice. So, a little window into the stone, and that, let's get a, one sec. All right, I was a little bit worried that this was going to be ghosty, because even the green in there, it's not the greatest, but, so it's thin layers, and that's okay. There's some bright thin layers, because when I came over here, I saw this flash of red, and red in Slaughter Mountain, it produces some of the finest reds. So, what I'm going to try to do is my homework will be to take this top, at least, down to a more uniform surface, and then see if, when I can, just come to the orange, and then we'll expose the red together. And then if the red's no good, then we'll just go from there. Thanks for watching Mark's Minerals videos. Please click like and subscribe. I'm going to come back with more videos. I'm going to finish this. This is my beginning to end piece. So if it doesn't have any good color, it's going to end really fast and we'll do another one. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.